is Middle School Speaks. This episode is whether the voting age should be lowered to 16. My name is Stephanie, my co-host Amaya.
Hi, my name is Samaya. Today we're going to be discussing whether or not the voting age should be lowered. Stephanie, can you give me a little bit of some history about voting?
Yes, I can. In 1970, the voting age in America was 21. Ever since World War II, the voting age was lowered to 18 due to this being the age of enlistment into the Army. Over the last 35 years, there have been politicians across several states who have tried to lower the voting age to 16. These attempts have caused others to debate whether or not the voting age should be lowered from 18 to 16.
The voting age should be lowered to 16 because some 16-year-olds are gaining responsibility and maturity and should have a say in politics. According to Lauren Steinberg, studies of cold cognition have shown that the skills necessary to make informed decisions are firmly in place by 16. By that age, adolescents can gather and process information, weigh pros and cons logically with facts, and take time before making a decision.
I appreciate where you are coming from. However, 16-year-old brains have not fully developed. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, the brain finishes developing and maturing in the late to mid-20s. This area is responsible for skills like planning, making good decisions.
People under 18 are subject to different labor, contract, and criminal responsibility laws. If 16-year-old students are old enough to be affected by the laws and realize that there is a problem, then they should have the power to help change it. Students today live under the threats to their futures, such as school shootings and climate change, and they deserve to have influence over their elected officials beyond the process that they've organized.
That's an interesting thought. However, many teens do not understand or are invested in politics. Most teens don't even know the names of their own U.S. senators. This can cause many problems, like understanding what the senator's opinion is on government issues. To safeguard democracy, the people must have a keen sense of independence. Gandhi, this proves that a part of democracy is voting. And Gandhi is saying that a person must have independence.
Another reason the voting age should be lowered is because it could influence more people to vote. According to Britannica, a person who votes in an election has a 13% greater possibility of voting in future elections. Researchers say that people who participate in elections when they first reach the voting age are develop the habit of voting, and those who don't are more likely to remain non-voters.
Some people argue that the voting age should be lowered to 16 because some 16-year-olds are gaining responsibility and maturing and should have a say in rights. According to Lawrence, studies of the cold cognition have shown that the skills necessary to make informed decisions are firmly in place by 16. By that age, adolescents can logically, with facts, and take time before making a good decision. While this may be true, some may argue that 16-year-olds do not care about politics and are not responsible enough to pay attention and make mature decisions. However, most teens would rather hang out with friends than help the state or country.
In conclusion, the voting age should be changed, even though some people might disagree and say that the 16-year-old brains have not fully developed yet, but they are old enough to make decisions. Since they are starting to gain responsibility and maturity, if they start to vote at a young age, that can also influence others to vote and continue the habit to vote.
That's all we have for this week's episode of Middle School Speaks with Stephanie and Samaya.
Bye.